Will we get a triple-way tie or at least a double? We're going to find out. Paper Rex versus Onic Map 2 underway.
Yeah, let's go. It's time now to get into the second map here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the first series of the final day of the group stage. Dax here with Bim, and I gotta say, Bim, for Onic, it's still such a question mark in a way for this map draft. They picked the maps, basically. They ended up with the maps that they have the least experience in their stats. And you mentioned it a while ago that Onic, they just don't have as many games as Paper Rex. Will Paper Rex just use that experience, especially at the highest levels of SEA, to their advantage?
You know, I really believe that Onic was kind of like shooting themselves in the foot by choosing Breeze for map number 1. But who knows, maybe they scrimmed the most on those maps. That is a possibility right here. But we have another mirror matchup, it seems, here. And it's going to boil down to pretty much the same win conditions for either side. Better utility usage, better fundamentals, and maybe a little bit of cheeky plays using that Sage tech right around here.
Oh, if you want Sage tech, you're not getting it for now because there's just a big wall in the way of Paper Rex, who are on the attacking side. Does seem like, though, that looking at these compositions, we're at it again, Bim. It's a mirror matchup one more time. It's just all about outclassing the other. And from what we saw a while ago, Paper Rex was able to truly outclass Onic in that map raise with those different angles. Will it be the same case here now in Icebox's Risky MD, who barely misses Forsaken. Now turns around to get that takedown, but as he does that, Divide there with the kill. Hey, and Nefto saying hello from the Cubby side. Divide right now pushing on forward to get that takedown. PRX and Onic trading blows, but Munyets, he holds the line there by the kitchen, surprises Mind Freak, making a sandwich, and now it's Onic now with the advantage.
Yeah, off to a great start here for the side of Onic. Very rare that you see a Sage and Viper on a single lane over there onto B-Long. Would have definitely paid off for them. Bit of a scuffle happening here. Onic Severin gets a 2K and secures the round. Very well played coming in there from Severin.
They're trying to plug up the leaks here, Mr. Vim. They're figuring out what went wrong in that Breeze map. And if they keep an eye out on the angles that Paper Rex will try to take away from them, then things will look a lot better here for Onic so far. And of course, winning that pistol round so helpful in the first place, gives them that gun advantage. But don't count out Paper Rex as of yet, because even though they're sticking with the pistols, 2 of them with sheriffs. And if you know right now on the map like Icebox, it's close enough to get the minus 150 over the minus 145.
Yeah, as we go into an eco state here, I'd just like to point out that the biggest issue that Onic had on the attack side in Breeze was that they seemed to be unfamiliar with a lot of the map geometry and a lot of the angles to check. But that doesn't seem to be the case here on Icebox. It might actually have a better chance here come by round. But that remains to be seen here. Again, all of them try to secure early momentum. But Forsaken will be tapping Risky MD. Be losing another Spectre on the board for the side of Onic. KNF has something to say about that, but Divide quickly trades him out with a quick 2K onto Shiro as well. Man, what a flip.
Yeah, Paper Rex got close enough, and that's what I was talking about. Get the one-taps there with the Sheriff, and that's good enough to get a Spectre into as well. Spikes planted. BRX now playing for full plant, but Severin with the push, and he will get 2 there. Shiba Divide caught unaware. Benkai, though, up top the nest. Does seem like right now PRX falling flat on their faces in that situation. Munyet now getting halfway, and Benkai will go down. A great effort there from PRX, but an even better retake there from Onic. PRX, the small timing that they got caught napping there, unfortunately, was their demise. They had a player on nest, not paying attention. The Sova whipping out the bow and arrow, and everything just falling apart because of that.
Yeah, perfect timing for Severin right there. 5-0 KD so far on the board. He's been carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders right here, at least in the first couple of rounds. But if the last game is any indicator, it's just Paper Rex always comes around on the third round turnaround. But you know, they've lost all the pistol rounds also on the previous game. So
just give them the guns. That's what they're saying. PRX is like, okay, you guys get the 2, and that's it for now. And Forsaken already proving that there with the Vandal in hand, taking care of Risky MD. Gotta say though, I still gotta commend Severin for that last round and for how he does carry the mental weight of Onic on his shoulders, being that captain and being that stable rock for that team. But PRX, they are rocking the world of Onic right now as they will push on to B sites. They're stacking it up though here by the green. over to the yellow boxes. And as we say, the colors of Icebox looking to basically the places of cover here for PRX. They're not done. They're gonna build the wall, set themselves up on the B defaults, and Spike can get planted here, Vim.
That is a very standard take, very standard post-plant position. Again, a lot of tried and tested methods coming in here from Paper Rex, relying heavily on Forsaken to get that mechanical diff. Gets a 3K onto this one. Severin shuts him down, though. However, Severin is left to his own devices here. Benkai eventually takes him out. A clear-cut win for Paper Rex on round 3.
Some vengeance there for Divide, but besides that, again, when you see Shiba and Forsaken make a play, it's just so quick and it's so deadly. As soon as the Sova gets a solid dart onto a angle that can scan someone from the opposing side, that's just the go signal there for Forsaken. And you said it yourself, Forsaken's so prodigal with his shots. He's just an absolute unit right now for this roster. And it's interesting, right? You got Forsaken on one side, a young gun, so stellar, and on the other side, Onic. Same case there for Monyet. And really, the Battle of the Jets is going to be something interesting all throughout this series. But Shiba now hanging on back as it's Onic here making a play for themselves. Wall on up, taking here to the belt. But as Monyet does get spotted, he will back on the way now. ANF in the meantime, it does allow them to cover up the right-hand side of the maze here, Vim, so it does double for a bit more of the defensive use. For PRX, a team that can play patiently, they can wait it out, and they can go for the take. But Forsaken, he wanted to jump the gun and got rid of ANF there, but Monyet now with the refrag, the Vital with the resurrection, and unfortunately for Onyx, since the stage is down, they're not going to be able to do just that. Benkai now up top the middle, he's looking for a target or two, as here we go with the spike being brought to that A site. Onic, though, flushed out of the site itself. They are staying on the outside. And as Forsaken tries to fight on back, Severed there with the takedown instead. Benkai, though, catching out Risky MD in response. And since Onic is stacking here, they have only one angle of attack. And they're going to try it with the lockdown instead. Alarm bot set up. Time is ticking. Benkai now waiting it out. Shira up top the rafters here and now. But oh, Severed, he's low, he's dead. And Benkai will say die to 2 more to get the quad. Just such an aggressive play there from PRX. They didn't care about the Dome of Doom. They didn't care if they were going to get detained because Benkai, he was willing to say goodbye to his team as well, but instead, he said hello to the 2 members of Onic remaining.
No, it started off with a duel of those prodigies right there, but in the end, Benkai, just completely disregarding the lockdown, was able to secure the round. And really the fundamental mistake from Onic right there was that it walked into the site without the lockdown even reaching 5 seconds at the very least. And that was a crucial mistake that probably cost them the round, Dex.
Yeah, just so... You're just not ready for that whatsoever. They did not expect Paper Rex to get in their way in that moment. And really, that's just been the story of this series so far. Onic falters because of what Paper Rex is willing to do. The aggression, the angles, and just the expertise and the experience that Paper Rex, they know that they can get away with it basically, and they're happy to do just that. Now then, we are all tied up, but the guns are very different here, Viminal. Paper Rex now having the advantage. Severin, though, he does have Sheriff, and he has been the saving grace of Onic so far. But for now, PRX, they can play passive. They can look for a few pickoffs before going on site.
Yeah, typically when you have such a huge discrepancy of firepower, you want to play things a bit slow. Forsaken will be taking down Risky MD, though. It's only 40 seconds left on the clock, so they are going to be bursting onto the site right now. Monyet can be the saving grace for Onic as Mindfreak takes down ANF. And there you go, Monyet gets one, then Kai takes down Shiro. It's all down to Monyet here as he gets Forsaken, but Shiba trades him out and secures the round. A good try from Monyet. And let me tell you, Dex, what I would give to be around 18, 19 years old in this day and age. Otherwise, you might have been casting me on the battlefield instead.
Oh, yeah, sure, Mr. Road to Radiant. I wouldn't be surprised, though. Just, how did your career start? I put you in a tournament as a player. Terrible. And then you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. Can I cast instead? Do this anymore. It's just such a hard road for being a player. And really, you gotta respect every single one of the teams, every single one of the players we've seen so far, especially right now, Paper Rex is Onic, because it still is quite a toll on their mental. how much time they put in to get better at this game time after time, play for the biggest stage of them all, go international with your squad. And really, it's such a hard endeavor making it truly esports in this scenario. Monyet, though, he's going to be finding that kill onto Mindfreak as we get back into the game. No more story time because the story itself is the match here. Shiba now catching Severin, and here we have it. Paper Rex setting up that lockdown. Monyet, though, with a takedown there on Shiba, and Onic right now keeping an eye out. They do have the numbers advantage, but as I say that, the Vi will say die to Shiro. Good fight there. And PRX, they still get the space that they need to play on A side here, Vim. Spike's planted, but Onic, they can make these retakes work from the outside.
And despite Monyet just getting a lot of picks really early on, it's just not enough oftentimes to secure the round. Let's see, however, if this is going to change in round number 6 here. Devi with a really cheeky angle underneath Rafters. Might be able to catch Monyet, actually.
Devi will go for the shots, but cannot hit the falling Monyet. And Onic is coming, and no, they just fall apart yet again. Line up like little doggies because Devi will get 3 risky MD trying to play the angle, but Benkai knows he's coming. And Benkai will just see that angle there. Paper X now up by 2. And you can truly see the experiences of Paper X helping them out immensely. Multiple times in these rounds, Paper X, I always have that feeling of deja vu. I've seen this before from Paper X. I've seen also some of the counterplays to that. And Paper X, they've done the homework. They've done the job there to figure out what their weak points are. And they're making sure that they're able to cover those weaknesses.
It's really just having that wall, playing around it very well. It gave him the favorable angle in that point in time. Devi hitting the shots at the perfect moment here. Mindfreak getting, again, all cerebral. Just with a cheeky boost up that, but he's going to be getting down here, making their way onto B long. This could be a concerted push from the side of PRX. Forsaken, assuming that's Prod and testing jet angle.
That now PRX is just passing the tests of that green angle, but Shiro, he just stays there and kills the Vi, stares at his corpse, waiting for someone else to come. But as soon as he didn't have the angle, he did back on away. PRX now on the warpath, going over to that B side and cleaning up house. ANF finding a kill with a classic onto Shiba. At least a consolation prize. They participated in the round, but PRX won that handily.
Forsaken now atop the scoreboard, right next to Severin, but PRX starting to run away with it right now. There's solid momentum, but remains to be seen if they can actually cement that momentum. Onic still has a good chance at this, still very early on in the round, especially with Monyet having that operator.
Let's take at least one
And
with us.
this has to be a game changer, Dax.
Get out of my way.
This is gonna be big with the operator. They're gonna have some angles that they can play with, but Forsaken double updraft right now. But Monyet will see the flying Forsaken, and it will just be the folly of PRX. We're not done though with Onic. That's the second one there from Monyet as the Vi goes for the resurrection. But this time, again, Shiba just so effective with the utility on that Sova. Gets the dart from the Aldrin to connect, forcing Monyet back on away, and the pressure there from the rest of PRX. Forcing Monyet, of course, to use the dash as well. Forsaken now right behind the yellow crates, and they are using it for cover versus the operator. Shiba saved there by the Cloudburst as he will back on out. PRX, they're contemplating. They're stuck here in the garage right now. They're looking for the opening. If Onic, though, can just sever these angles, just catch out the pressure points that we've been talking about, it's going to be a perfect time for the defense to get around when Severin there is prepared in the middle. Forsaken waiting for someone to come in. ANF will just say goodbye to himself as Forsaken will get that takedown. But yet it's not done though. It's a 3K here as he whips out the Bladestorm. It's now going to be a duel by B sites. When yet using the repel and getting the headshots onto the Vi anyway. Just adjusting the altitude, going on down, resetting his aim to be true to the head. And Shiro from the boiler getting the heat on and catching out Benkai. It seems like when you give Shiro a stage, we saw it in Breeze a while ago by the staircase. You see it now here on the boiler of Icebox. He is just able to use that high ground well. And it's going to be 5-3. Onic bouncing back.
You know, I just had to say it. It's just, Monyet, if there was any chance of Onic flipping the momentum, turning the tide here, it had to be that round with Monyet on the operator. Perhaps PRX was kind of caught off guard there. Maybe they weren't really expecting for him to go for the operator right away, considering he had the Blade Storm as well. But he was able to make that work.
In this case now, it's Onic looking around yet again for a target too as Monyet. He's not done. He still wants to go for a cheeky shot, aggressive on that defense, and give the advantage early on here to Onyx side. The thing is, he used the Blade Storm a while ago, so he's gonna need to build it up yet again for the game. On the flip side though, Forsaken looking for the duel. The Hunter's Fury now gonna be called. Is it gonna be Battle of the Lightning Strikes here? And now Shiro with a kill off the bent guy. And while Shiva is trying to search for Shiro there, it's Onic finding one more. Mind Freak now falling down to the hand of Monyet, but Forsaken sees the top of Monyet and wins out that Jets versus Jets battle. Now then, Spike is planted here by PRX. They got some saves there thanks to Forsaken. Besides that, it's still Onic with the advantage. Friends is available. HNF looking to give him a second chance here to the likes of Monyet. And as Severed falls, it's now Onic still making it 4v3. Risky empty with the flank and the take on Forsaken, though still looking nigh unstoppable with a 3k so far. The Vi here on the right-hand side. HNF now with the takedown of the Forsaken, finally shutting down the rampaging operator. But the Vi, can he try? No, he will die instead as HNF will say hello to the Sage. And this is gonna be close, but still enough time for Onic to get the defuse Vim.
With seconds to spare, that was definitely worthy res right there, coming in from HNF rather. Sorry, got a little bit confused there. But again, it was that flank from HNF that really secured the round for Onic. Every time you play for belt, you always have to be mindful of your flank. He was able to get 2 kills there because of that flank. Really well played coming in from Onic, starting to fight back here. Thanks to, again, Monyet having that game-changing operator. But it was a good effort from Forsaken, trying to counter it with an operator of his own.
Here we go. Onic right now going for the shots. Monyet, though, cannot hit it. And Forsaken! Doesn't matter if he has the op or not. All he needs is sightlines on Monyet and a beautiful assassination there from Paper Rex. That's a big, big pickoff in this game, Vim, in this round, because Onic, they were picking up steam to try and tie things up, but Paper Rex are already looking to play for that A site.
Yeah, it's just, again, Monyet being punished by Forsaken. It seems like Forsaken put a bounty on Monyet's head, very, very deliberately taking him out early on in the round because there's so much firepower in Monyet and it really increases the win chance here. Mind Freak, once again, playing the mind games, taking down Severin. Very cheeky angle right there. Risky MD has something to say about that, though. Taking down Devi with a quick look.
Oh shit, but though finding that takedown. But HNF still saying salutations to many members of the side of Paper Rex. And while we did see the Doctor flanks fall, it's Forsaken with a flank of his own. Forsaken lining them up, and Forsaken making them get on their knees and pray for mercy. 6-4 right now as 17 takedowns to Forsaken. Again, Forsaken looking so stellar in this series.
Yeah, arguably much stronger here compared to Breeze even. Because it is a very close game and his impact has been monumental here for the side of Paper Rex. Still very close game, 6-4. Onic can still make this a 6-6 or perhaps a 7-5 at the very least. Because they are in a bit of a broken bye here. Shiro only as Sheriff Monyet has Marshall and Risky MD. You know, it's Bulldog, not really the best weapon despite the burst fire.
The Rex now, they want to go for more, and they basically want to seal the playoff berths that they can attain if they win this map here, Vim. If we see Paper Rex get the victory, but never mind, Onic right now getting the victories of their own with the Marshals. Shiba, though, getting 2 so far as the lockdown right now, buying space here for PRX. And while Mind Freak is putting that spike down, it will just be time ticking on away. Post-spawn situation, PRX backing on out to just lob some utilities at that spike if need be. Onic, though, in the meantime, they still do have some rifles here in this situation, so they could fight in, I believe, a force by scenario. As Shiro now looking around for a target or two. HNF on the flip side, going to be walling things up. will go for the defuse, but Devi finds one, finds two, finds three! And it's just a searchlight here from Devi, spotting out the remaining members of Onic, just putting them to the wall, making them hold these placards, and just imprisoning them in the icy realms of a site.
You know, when Forsaken fails to step up, it's Devi picking up the slack right there. Time and time again, he gets those multi-kills. Just phenomenal mechanics coming in from his end. You know, it must be pretty heartbreaking coming in from for the side of Monyet. Despite getting a really nasty 2K on that Marshall. Beautiful picks there. Just not enough to secure the round. And when you think about it, Dex, there really is no jet diff at this point in time. It's a tug of war between Monyet and Forsaken. Sometimes they win out the duels, sometimes they lose out of duels, but Forsaken at least getting an opening pick here. Shiba taking down HNF. Severin will be taking a pick onto Benkai. 4v3 now in favor of Paper Rex. Benkai is gone. Forsaken is still there with a Blade Storm. Device still has a res. It could play for res or perhaps commit right off the bat.
Well, they're just going for the pickoffs, and a quick play there from Forsaken. Double after get that first takedown, and immediately Paper X finding one more to follow suit. Monyet, though, with the blades, as you mentioned, trying to fight on back and will look for the retake alongside Severin. Onic, they do have two ultimates, but they just don't have the tools right now to try and make this work without an initial pickoff. Here we have it. Forsaken versus Monyet. Top 10 anime battles, perhaps, but no, it's a backstab instead, and just denying Monyet of honorable combat as Forsaken will get that takedown onto the remaining members of Onic. 8-4 here, PRX. They're gearing up for a playoffs run, Bim, and looking at the standings, if PRX gets this map win, they are in. They are going to be the top seed of Group B. They're going to be in no matter what the result of Full Sense and 5-Ace will become, and Onic going to be instead the one in a perilous state. It just goes to show that this map is going to be crucial for the survival of Onic or the security of Paper Rex. But in terms of round differential, it's helping out PRX right now with that map win a while ago by keeping Onic at the distance here. And if PRX can start running away with this as we go now into the second half of things, well, it's going to be painful for the side of Onic.
Yeah, absolutely. Dire versus Radiant in round number 13. But I have a prediction, Dex. I bet Onyx going to take the first couple of rounds.
Oh,
calling it right now.
I wonder why. Stats don't lie. Stats don't lie, perhaps. But, you know, PRX, as they like to say, you know, they can bring the magic. They can make the magic happen. And there you go already. It's 1, 2, 3, a hat trick for PRX as a whole. As Forsaken will get 2 of those. Shiba in the meantime with a takedown. But Devi, he just goes for the stick, and that's it. Not only does PRX wipe out Onic in the pistol round, they go for the defuse at the same time. And Viminal, you said something? Viminal,
okay.
Analyst? Hello?
I
Hello?
guess I'm going to throw that conspiracy theory out the window. Okay, welcome to be proven wrong time and time again. Remember, folks, Viminal is almost always wrong.
And so, you know, that's what's sad is you can't even use your other catchphrase here because we're on the international stage now.
That's true.
And,
that's true.
And if you say Viminal never lags, many other people will beg to differ, my friend.
Yeah.
But here we have it. PRX now. They have such a big advantage because there's that pistol win. They're up by 5. They have the guns. And Onic knows that they need this round just for the group stage as a whole. They're gonna go for the force buy here. It's Spectres on every single one of these players except Forsaken, who decides to go for the Vandal instead and keep an eye out on this guy. He's got the big gun and he's got the big honus to go for 2. Shiba gonna be able to get a takedown as well. And Onic, they're trying to make a play, but it's just falling apart at the seams. Benkai on the board as well, and Benkai will get 2 as well. PRX, their dominance, it is just silencing Onic right now.
Let me just add, Dax, that that boost from Forsaken over there atop that screens is a very powerful position. Basically, you feel like a CCTV camera with guns. It really works about maybe 80% of the time. You will get a pick or 2. You only lose that angle if you are deliberately checked from belt. But that is very, very unlikely to happen. You can pull it off at a tipping point in the game, such as that one, and you know you can only pull it off once a game, but it really works to your advantage quite often.
Yeah, now Onyx gonna be paranoid about it. Maybe a split second to spare perhaps for PRX as Devi will shut down Severin and Shiro will get the refract. But oh, Onyx making the Sheriff's count here. Getting the tap on Forsaken is huge, but Mind Freak right now being cheeky. And Monyet! Big catch out to Shiba. Risky MD even finding Mind Freak. And just individually, Paper Rex just getting cut into itty bitty strips. Benkai now with the fight of Monyet. He's the only one with the Spectre here. He's the only one alive even for PRX. As Onic now, they pick up some rifles on the other side. And how the hell did Onic just find those pickups? The movement there from Onic, as well as the stations that they stayed on, it all checked out.
You know what? I blinked and they were all gone. PRX, perhaps they were a bit complacent in that round. Although you can't blame them with such a huge lead like this. Benkai gonna try to go for it. He only has Spectre, knows point in saving that one. Does get spotted by HNF, but keeping his aggression in check. Walking into the crossfire, no chance in hell. Benkai manages to get one. Perhaps a little bit off on the timing there, but Risky MD will be cleaning it up.
Crossfire wasn't ready. They were trying to make the X, but they didn't touch those tips with the sight lines. But really, that round, that's a wonder. I gotta say.
That's a miracle.
The odds,
right
that's a miracle and a half. Because the odds of 2 of those situations happening, it's okay, it's expected. 3, you're pushing it. 4 times? 4 pickoffs like that in just a single round? Yeah, that's a go to the lottery station, the lottery store, and buy a ticket already and try your luck. Because, well, Onic, they deserve that win, but how that all panned out, a little bit of Lady Luck smiling on them as well. Exceptionally earned and exceptionally done, but PRX right now, they love the odds that are stacked for them, and Forsaken will stack some bodies there to get to with the Blade Storm. He's not done, they'll look for more, but runs out of knives right now while he's trying to play his juggling act. Onic now sticking on the round, it's 3v5, and while PRX are at the disadvantage in the guns, Forsaken has a single blade left to be decisive. Can Onic even find the pickoffs as PRX right now swarming onto A sites?
Zero. Severin getting a pick on Shiba.
Oh,
Shiba,
no.
rather. Oh, Forsaken gets spotted out. This is going to be a tough spot to be, and he's
so
going to stuck there.
unfortunate. Oh, he still made
makes
that
the
one blade
most out
work.
of it.
He still made it work. He didn't want to use that blade, and Ip's name was just destined to connect onto Severin instead. Apparently, that blade already had an opener, and it was the Killjoy on the other side. HNF, though, does go down to the hand of Benkai. Shiro not trying to play clutch, but PRX with a thrifty win! And suddenly, the tables have turned yet again back into PRX favor as Onic makes a miracle happen. PRX just makes a play on the other side, and Forsaken yet again. All hail Forsaken for the second map in the row.
Forsaken, strapping young lad out to make a name for himself. Now, I'd argue he already did.
Don't overthink.
Perhaps.
Long time already.
Yeah, his ambition perhaps is way beyond that, and his gameplay speaks for itself right here. As he holds down B long with an operator. This is a very common angle. Might be checked here by the drone, of course. And he's holding it down.
He's just locked down here. He is just stapled to the ground, and eventually he will get the kill on the Risky MD. Forsaken's not done, but Monyet will make sure that he is finished for the round as the Blade Storm will just slide on into that B site, and will get that takedown. Now Monyet coming in closer and closer to the objective as the wall will be placed on the default angle. And as Onic wants to cover their flanks, Benkai will change things up. Lockdown here is the call, and PRX is prepared. Onic, they might just walk into the loving embrace of Shiba. There's one, there's two. He will get the takedowns there. Severin, though, finding Shiba in response, but the damage has been done. The detain is there on the Shiro, and Severin, the only one left. PRX, they just cut up this squad on the other side into itty-bitty pieces. Yet again, the retreat has been covered. The advance has been covered. And PRX are one away from making it to the playoffs.
Forsaken, 2 away from getting that 30, bro. Just an absolutely incredible performance here. This is the last stand for Onic. Let me tell you, at this point in time, the mental game has been won by PRX. So this is going to be a really tough spot for Shiro and crew. Shiro with that operator. Severin with a lockdown. Hey enough with a resurrection. They can live to fight another round. But again, at this point, it's basically done and dusted, I'd say.
Yeah, PRX. It does feel like right now that this is their map to win. This is their series to win, unless Onic can pull something out of that bag of tricks. Is it finally time for Onic to just be as flawless as can be? Will PRX just shut it down? You know, Forsaken, if you put him in class, he'll get an A even though he's playing this game while the lecturer is talking. And here we go. His gunplay does all the talking for him. Forsaken out with the takedown on 2-2 so far. Operator in the shorty, but Monyet with the shutdown onto the rampaging Jet. And Monyet, he's gotten 2 so far, but Benkai in cover to get that takedown onto Monyet. Sheer right now on the board, and it's 1v2 here, Vim. Onic, they have one last chance with the Sova. Shiba, though, when the Hunter's Fury tried to cover up a potential plant location, but Onic, they're trying to play it smart. Paper Rex, though,
30 seconds left.
the chances right now for them to make it to the playoffs are just absolutely astronomically high, and they just want to secure it right here, right now. Into the kitchen, though, we go. Sees the turret deactivated. She right now has to be very, very careful. PRX are on the manhunt. They're looking right, they're looking left, they're looking everywhere on A side and B. But Shiro right now jumping on up, exposing his position. And we'll be putting that spike down. Time ticking on it, giving themselves a small lifeline, a faint heartbeat in this series. But as soon as I say that, the flatline from Dubai will just remove the chances of Onic even having a single threat of life. Paper Rex, they have done it. Domination at the very end of the group stage. The Paper Rex guarantee, and it's a 13-5 victory for Paper Rex.
Absolutely clinical run from Paper X in that series.